Hello everyone, in this video I'm making a short video on every single major lesson I learned in my 20s. A lot of these lessons are not technical lessons, they are actually lessons on socializing with people to get things done in cybersecurity. These are lessons I wish I knew back when I was younger. So let me start with the first one. As a young person living in the internet age, I found myself spending too much time building my technical skills indoors and talking too little to people with more experience than me in the industry. The thing is, there's this myth that people that are in cybersecurity just are thrown into the closet and are just forced to figure out whatever technical problem is in their computer network. This is not true. In the real world, security professionals regularly network with each other on purpose. You can't get anything done without it. You're not going to be able to make connections with anyone that you can count on when a big project is taking place. You're not going to find anyone who you want to work with if you don't. In this video, I'm going to try to encourage you to actually go outside and meet people, even if it means holding off on that programming assignment that I know you're very, very desperate to complete. It's a bad habit we pick up in school. Just go home, do your homework, play video games. Think about it. We are forced to let someone decide what we will be learning without question on whether it helps. Trust me, most of it does not. We're forced to spend most of our time learning these questionably practical subjects at school. We are told hard work pays off. We are promised rewards on paper. Have you ever spent years grinding on everything for grades, degrees, certifications, recognition at work, promotions, or yes, even money? And then, even after getting those hard-to-get credentials, we are just told we have to work even harder just to get the next set of credentials in life. And that's how rewards blind us. At some point, all of us hit a brick in the road. We realize getting recognition or reward from others is not good enough to make up for the time we burnt with others getting there. If you have not, you probably have not left the school system just yet. If so, please watch until the end, especially if you're known to be a hard worker. I'm trying to save you several years of confusion and wasted time. Usually this happens even shortly after the overachieving student hits college. They receive mass disillusionment therefrom. Their hard work in school did not prepare them for their challenging coursework. Many of them later realize that they don't even want to pursue the career they wanted to pursue as a little kid after all. Those young people realized that the profession they were working on would just lead out to nothing but burnout, misery, and regret. And there's a reason for that. Schools and workplaces are designed to measure tasks done, not measure what is worth it. You need to stop thinking about what things you can get out of pursuing a profession. It is a bad habit to do work just for the outcome. People who do not grow out of that are the ones who run into career dead ends. These are the people that don't believe what they're doing matters, that never do more than required, and are the ones that miss out on the satisfaction of having something great in life. Instead, you need to be mindful of whether what you are doing benefits others in reality. Focus on doing things because it's worth spending your time with people completing a task. Aspire for the best outcome you can imagine, but don't worry about it if it does not happen. Over half of the time, it will not. Why would you want to spend your time on something where there's no guarantee it will succeed? Because you enjoy spending time on it in the first place. There are countless hackers throughout history that have done great things, but not every project they make actually succeeds. Even after they find great success in the past, they occasionally run into new projects that fail. Yet they still keep going because they enjoy doing the task itself. And that's what I want you to think about when you're choosing a career. Would you seriously spend your free time struggling on that thing you're working on? Even if no one's looking and no one's giving you credit? Even if your parents yell at you to stop? If so, then maybe it's because you actually think that thing matters, even if people are just telling you to do something else. Don't worry about what other people scream at you to do. Most people have no idea what they're doing anyway. So in this next section, I want to explain how you choose your career. It's not the way you think it is. It's not by following your passion. It's not by just doing something you like. It's a technique where you are required to speak to someone more experienced in your field. So if you're a cybersecurity student, it should not surprise you when I say that not everything you are learning in school is up to date or even relevant. You should have noticed this by now after researching what people in your intended profession do on a daily basis on their job duties. But what you may not know is whether you want to be that person doing those things for the rest of your life. If you are struggling with deciding if a career choice is right for you, I encourage you to find someone that has the exact profession you want. Once you meet them in person, discuss your career interests and why you want to have the profession they have. So ask them questions like this. Look at the blog post. That's in the link in the video description. I highly recommend you take a look. Ask them questions like this. If you could redo your life all over again, would you choose your profession? Would you recommend your profession to your own children? What things related to your profession do you do outside of your work? There's a reason why I'm asking them this. It tests if the person has a genuine interest in their field. A person that does not engage with the profession in any way outside of work is most likely a work zombie, a person that gains a little more out of their work aside from the pay. And such people can be pitied, not glorified. There's so many simple ways to do this. Mentoring others, it's fun. You should do this even for free. You will be less lonely later in life. Working on projects to solve a real-life problem to benefit others. Or even attending meetups to discuss their cybersecurity concerns with others in the profession. You should already be doing that, by the way. So all of these are great ways on meeting up with people and asking them. My bad. All of these are things that a person can do outside of their profession. Notice they are not necessarily things they get paid to do. They do it because they think it's worth it in its own right. So another question would be, what do you like the most about working with others in your profession? Hopefully it's working with people. And what do you dislike the most when working with others in your profession? Hopefully it's not a problem where you're dealing with unpleasant people or unpleasant things they do. Think carefully about what they like the most, and more importantly, what they dislike the most. And think seriously if you can tolerate the things they dislike the most. If you sincerely don't think you can, you probably shouldn't go after that field. And the last sample question I'll give you is, what are the most important lessons you learned from your mistakes working in your profession? What do you advise young people like myself to avoid these mistakes? Try the above questions to more than 1 to as many as 5 people in your profession you are considering. Be suspicious of the jobs that are glamorous in the eyes of your peers. Usually the people behind the perks and benefits of the job are just a gimmick. Are just a bunch of people trying to sell you a lie. They're trying to enslave you. Usually the people behind the perks and benefits of the job are just trying to enslave you. There, that's the perfect way of saying it. A lot of these jobs that have a lot of benefits, the real reason why they're done is to actually get people to work to the mat. By the time you would be done working, you will be on the carpet as a rug. Be warned, the more glamorous a job is, the more suspicious it is. So, by asking these questions, you are testing if you will enjoy the rest of your career. Every day, people walk into jobs without any idea what happens to the average person that does the same. Many jobs suffer from a lack of care for the work person, leading to burnout and regrets. By asking these questions, you can save yourself a lot of unnecessary trouble. For more ideas and questions, I encourage you to read the chapter on choosing a career from a great book I read called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living in the Most Difficult Years of My Early 20s. The lessons in that book are over half of the reason why I decided to speak to you today about your struggles, being who you want to be. So my next advice is get a mentor. If you really enjoy speaking with said person about the profession you have chosen and you really want to stay, see if you can convince them to remain in contact with you. This could start a lifelong relationship called a mentorship. Your mentor can pass down critical life lessons they have learned the hard way at work, saving you years of mistakes. This is also how you can begin building a professional network that helps you make an impact in your field, something all of you should be aspiring to do. If you're serious about making an impact in your field, simply droning away on your computer terminal like I would have earlier in life is not going to cut it. You have to actually somehow convince people to work with you on that thing you care about. These are the lessons your mentor can pass down, can make up for all the faults in the school system and at work that I know you are frustrated with. Do your best to meet with your mentor at least once a week. It can be as simple as a phone call or ideally an in-person meeting. You should be comfortable letting your mentor know what difficulties you are facing in preparing for your profession and even in your personal life. They have dealt with the real world longer than you have and can assess what the best course of action would be given your situation. Your mentor can even help you meet the next person that will help you tackle the problem you are facing. People that the rest of the public cannot easily access. You usually have to convince such people you have some potential that warrant their attention. But the thing is, your mentor can advocate for you in front of that person, getting their attention for you. Finally, a mentor can also help you become more socially aware of problems in the industry relevant to your field. Every single job has a bunch of dark secrets that people working the profession can't just say out loud on the news. Your mentor can tell you if there's something dark about working in your industry that you're currently not aware of, so it can save you from a potential red flag. They can help you tell if a job or industry would be a good fit for you after they get to know you. Your mentor should be someone with more than twice as much experience as you do, and therefore has seen what work in your field is satisfying, which ones are the ones you should avoid, even if it's counterintuitive. You can't learn that just by building your technical skills. Get someone to care about you enough to pass it down to you. So the next social lesson is going into meetups, an excellent way to be aware of what is happening in our industry, other than watching the news. In fact, better than watching the news is by meeting people in person at a gathering known as a meetup. Meetups are public gatherings where people meet up in person to discuss a certain topic. You can find a meetup where you can discuss major events, work experiences, or projects in cybersecurity. A good place to find meetups would be meetup.com. That's where I find all the meetups I attend. So, unlike online gatherings, people are much more likely to be direct and straightforward, with none of the pretense and less of the nonsense you see plague social media and Discord. You should ask other security personnel what were the biggest lessons they learned about working in the industry and what they wish they knew before working in their field. Again, that could save you a ton of regrets later. You will find some of the best advice on picking up a new technology you're struggling with learning also can be found at meetups. I learned how I can get started with AWS at a meetup. So, things like that. Next, I want to discuss an important topic, getting an internship. It seems impossible to get an internship these days for young people just starting out in the industry. Part of the reason for that is that the software engineering interview process is really broken. If you're a person reading this and are interested in getting a job in cybersecurity, I have some bad news. The hiring process in the cybersecurity industry is even more broken than the software engineering industry. It is much harder to predict what the hiring team will grill you with for a job than in software engineering. Sometimes hiring teams ask questions unrelated to the role, just because others do the same in the industry. I kid you not, I've had real interviews where they literally interrogate me on questions that were irrelevant to the actual job role, and just to check if it actually was, I talked with my mentors, and they admitted that, yeah, there's no way what they asked in the technical interview is a real assessment of what you're going to need on the job. So this is why it is crucial that you apply to jobs that demand skills that you are truly interested in building on your own free time, not just for the cash. I am not saying you should be okay with working overtime for free. What I am saying is, it is important that you continue to build your technical skills relevant to your field, both at work and even outside of work. Yes, it is not good enough to do just what you are told. You have to build your technical skills outside of work. All the technical skills you now have need to be upgraded in the next 10 years anyway. Some of your technical skills may even become outdated by the end of the next decade. Why would you spend your free time building technical skills in something all for pay? Because you actually care about improving people's lives with those technical skills, not just so you earn a living. Remember, money was invented to allow us to outsource tasks to others that were willing to spend their time completing them. Giving you the time you would want to complete the tasks you want to spend time on others. Therefore, you should choose the industry, career, and technical skills you are more than happy to benefit others with on your spare time. This will separate you from the candidates that treat building those skills as an afterthought. Employers must deal with that mediocrity all the time, and I kid you not, sometimes an employer will actually look at a candidate that has done a lot on their own leisure, and know for a fact they know their stuff, and give them an intentionally easier interview than one that just happens to pass by and randomly apply without any serious sign that they care about the craft, or any serious evidence they have experience in the craft. In fact, here's a dark secret. The less confidence the employer has that you have the technical skills for the job, the harder they'll make the interview. The more confident they are that you know your stuff, the easier the interview process will be. So listen to my advice. Choose actual jobs that directly align with what you are willing to help other people with, even on your free time. What you do on your free time is a serious test of your personality. And when people see that you truly care about benefiting someone in cybersecurity on your free time, they'll know you care. I'm not saying you work overtime for free. I'm saying you should care about your craft, and I insist that you benefit others with it. And people will see that, and they'll give you a shot. The best way to build your technical skills is not by preparing for an interview. A surprising number of security interviews, as I mentioned earlier, you won't even use most of those skills that you learned for the technical assessment on the job. The best way to build your skills is by actually working on projects on your spare time that you intend to benefit others with in some way. That's worth working on your spare time. What is pay but a means to outsource the tasks less important to you? You want to use money to maximize the time and resources to solve the issues you personally care about, both for you and the people you care about. This blog you're reading right now, it's about training young security engineers to solve difficult problems in software security. You can teach others, make software that helps catch security bugs in your code base. Or you can write your own binary analysis tools. The list of possibilities are endless. It's up to you to decide what problems are worth solving on your spare time. You should discuss your project ideas and progress with your peers, mentors, and people you trust at meetups. Having a trusted circle of people that care about your core values and interests is a priceless thing to have, and is a very good way to tell if your work is meaningful and will keep you motivated even when things get tough. You should be practicing doing projects with other people. This builds your skills in working with others before you get your first job or internship. If you have a resume that shows off how you solved real problems for other people using the technology you built for others, you will be a very tempting candidate for a relevant role that is difficult to pass up. I got my first full-time internship since I was doing projects in cryptography near the end of my college stay. That full-time internship evolved into my first full-time job, and the story continues from there. I still work on small projects in my spare time outside of work to this day. Right now, I'm building my skills in Lisp. Actually, I should cut this. I'm actually building my skills in Intel x64 assembly, and of course C programming in preparation for cryptographic software development. Found an excellent software library called SSL. That library has such good readable code on constant-time cryptographic engineering that I think every single person that's serious about cryptographic software development should just pause this video and hit baressl.org. You need to see this library and you can learn so much on cryptographic software development from that website. Cryptographic software development will be an important thing for the future of online privacy. That's why that's why I'm so invested in it. The for Cybersecurity series is actually meant to help train a person to be capable of doing cryptographic development in the future. So I hereby skip what this script says about Lisp, and I instead try to pay more attention to the thing I'm working on now. But that's a separate video for another day. And as a last bit of advice, doing projects will help you tell if you want to pursue a career. I remember working on a hackathon project where I implemented a Cypher as a GNU Linux kernel module. You can see the project by clicking on the link in the video description, and then clicking on this link you see here. What I learned from that project was, I am definitely interested in implementing cryptography as software for the rest of my career. I also learned I'm not interested in GNU Linux kernel development in itself, though I am capable of doing it. And I'll leave you with some last bit of advice. If you really are interested in challenging yourself, a great place to do projects is by attending college hackathons. These are competitions where students attempt to solve a problem in a very short period of time, usually less than 24 hours. You can also just complete a project in a semester. You should plan your hackathon project beforehand and sleep around 4 hours during the hackathon. You're gonna need it, trust me. You can't start working on the project before the hackathon, though. Don't break the rules. I would like to leave with one more thing, even though the script doesn't say it. In a few weeks, I'll be attending my first security conference. I strongly recommend you go. My own mentors strongly recommend every security student should go to a security conference if they're financially able to. There, you can network and meet people. That can be a lifelong contact as well. But I guess I don't have much else to say yet about security conferences, since I haven't seen one just yet. I'm about to, though. Alright. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, click on bell notifications, and comment what you liked and didn't like about the video. I thank you for your time. Peace.